And why I say this is because I have worked extensively with global movement on these issues of economics. And the problem, especially with us, the so-called developing countries, is because we have not gone into depth, and I refer even to Eldoret consultation where they said we need to really get informed and get the right facts when we are arguing about these issues. And I say this because the root causes of the economic walls are deeper entrenched, and no any other people will be able to bring it to the surface other than you. I want to bring a very quick example now. Our president has refused to sign the fiscal bill, if you have been following it. But it's not our president refusing to sign that fiscal bill. It is the IMF saying no. And it is because with what they are calling aid effectiveness processes, which began in Paris in 2005, where also the church, through the World Council of Churches and the All-African Conference of Churches, you are involved, have not been able to really strike what us at the South people want to do. And I get very worried when we look at it from this point of view, because we will continue blaming and counter-blaming, which is not our strategy. It's a strategy to continue dividing us. And that's why I'm saying in this economic issue, I urge the clergy to kindly locate the distinction of where the kingship and the priesthood is. From my point of view, it is only you who can say no and put a clear, very strong position against the designs of the World Bank, the IMF, and the WTO. And that is what rolls all these unequal relationships. Because the economic financial architecture globally is structured in such a very unequal problems. And we suffer from how aid is contracted, and the aid we took in the 60s has created such a big debt burden that as I speak now, you are servicing over 134 million Kenya shilling every month to service debt. And we do not complain about that, but we complain about what our MPs are paying for themselves in salaries. And then on the other hand, the debt is already paid, but we haven't paid, we have paid the capital, but they keep putting the interest rate, so that the unequal trade relationship continues, and they use that to put conditionalities on how aid is transacted. So, it is only you, men of God, and I repeat, and I don't want to be asked by history in future, that I was in this meeting, I had this information, and I did not flag it out. It is only you from Africa, from Asia, and from Latin America. And Asia and Latin America have already moved very fast. It's only as African voice that cannot be heard. That the G8 can meet at Grenigos in 2005 and have the audacity, for example, to say that they cannot cancel the debts of Kenya because we pay promptly. Because we pay our debts promptly, which means our children die, which means our women die at birth, which means our education is as confused as it is, which means our political arena will continue with that confusion because other forces are up at arms that we don't deliver a new constitution to ourselves. So all what I am saying, the economics of our country must be seen from the global context. We think globally when we are acting locally. And when we are acting locally, we also think globally. That is the only way we will not confuse issues, and that is the way we will break these walls, and it is the moment to break them. If you do not, you who are ordained, If you do not, you who are ordained, the commission of Matthew chapter 28 will call upon us. And this is because it's so critical that the economic international paradigm cannot be allowed to continue pushing us at the expense of life. And debates have been there. You have heard of the Millennium Development Goals, where the heads of states in 2005 met at the UN framework, agreed to address these issues economically, politically, and socially. That is what the 8 goals talk about it. 5 years down the line, they had even lost that commitment. The United States of America started withdrawing, and when they withdraw, all the others withdraw, and there our leaders, led by the South African leader, Mbeki, and the Senegal leader, Wede, was continued to not being able to state what exactly Africa stands for. So I'm calling upon the Kenyan church, the African church, and the Church of God to actually come up and think what transformation processes must go. And I say that because I saw my sister Bishop, you did put there in 5 that we lack a prophetic and apostolic voice. That is what I think is our greatest problem.
Amen. Well done.